Start with some questions from our eminent guests. We'll have questions of Chen and Ken, and then of course we'll move to some more general football stuff after that. So beautiful. Take it away.
Yeah. Far away. You can go for it. You guys can start.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Vivi from IH Media, local Chinese media. I got some questions for Ken and Chen. And firstly, Ken, would you mind to share some thoughts on your trip to Shanghai? How did you enjoy coaching Shanghai, coaching the team in Shanghai?
Yeah, it was a great experience for us. I mean, so much work's gone into our Chinese venture from a football club, and 3 years ago it started here with Team China. You know, and we get back there, and in that period of time, we've then been to Shanghai, played a game, had a great experience over in Shanghai, where we really strong performance on the footy field, which was important for us. But to get involved with the Chinese people was outstanding. I've been there twice. Went and done some school visits and stuff in the short term, and we really enjoy our time there, and we look forward to going back.
Exception, do you think more Chinese players could be recruited to play in AFL in the future? That's
the idea, is to take our game to the world and to make sure we get some people who have not experienced AFL to get an opportunity to play it. And we look behind us and we see all these boys who are going to play in the next couple of weeks playing AFL football. It's such a wonderful experience for them, and we hope it's only the start.
Thank you, Chen. Sorry, Ken.
I've got one for Chen here. You got one for Chen?
I got one for Chen.
Yeah.
There is Chinese saying, 客从故乡来. So we got today we got Team China's visit, and you as a part of Port Adelaide Football Club.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Feel excited or proud? And have you got any plan to show them around?
Yeah, I feel really excited for this time. The boys can be here training with the boys, like the top level, and then thanks Port Adelaide Football Club to look after us. And yeah, we plan to take the boy to the beach, to the wildlife, anywhere in Adelaide, and make sure they have a great time in here. And we have cup training in Abington Oval, and make sure the boys can improve their skill or keep in that level. Yeah.
Any plan to show them around in Adelaide?
Yeah, we may go to Gurney Beach, and go to the hill, and watch the game tomorrow.
Drink some wine.
No wine.
Oh, no wine.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that would be very good for them to good experience. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more broader questions for Chen?
The China.
Just come back so we can see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How much has it progressed from when you first came out with Team China? How much has the team learnt, and how better is it for this time, the International Cup?
Yeah, the boy got the training camp before they came here. They do a really good and hard job. In China, now it's in summer, and they need to training in that high temperature and a lot of running, and they improve their skill. And I think the skill is good. They got a good fitness as well. So at the moment, I think we need to teach them how to play quick football, and then make sure we can work together and play a good match.
Chen, so what's one question? How's your game developed since you've moved to Port Adelaide this year?
I played 2 games this year for Yankalila. Yeah, I feel knee is good, body is good, and I kicked 3 goals already, and the second game best in the ground. So I feel good. I feel strong and excited for the match for the International Cup. Yeah.
Cool. Enough with Chen and Ken. All right, we'll just make it all sad. Stay there, boys. But
all done.
Thanks, Chen.
Well done.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You can pop on. They're going to talk to me and leave you alone.
Stuck back here, Chen. No problem. Stay there, boys.
And it's a long journey from Camperdown to the Spruiken China and international.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, isn't it, when you think back to where we came from. 3 years ago when the team came out, it was part of the dream. You know, we've actually now been to Shanghai and we've played a game there. We've won premiership points in Shanghai, and and the club are really invested in continuing to do that. And I think it's an exciting place, and as I said, to be involved with it's quite amazing.
is it hope still to unearth Chinese talent to keep bringing them over?
Yeah, and we've seen what's happened in other countries, and we've been able to bring over small sample sizes of the Irish boys, Americans. You know, there's no reason why we can't find footballers in other parts of the world, and China's one of those parts.
What about the game tomorrow? 4 changes this week. Is that, and 3 of them unforced? Because unhappy with last week, is that sort of the main driving force there?
Yeah, well, we certainly didn't play the way we'd like to play last week, particularly in the first half. We were way off the pace against Melbourne. They were too strong for us. Look, we understand that a couple of the boys we've brought back in a part of our best team when we get them in good form. Now, we haven't quite had that, but the challenge for us now is to make sure that Jack and Jasper come back into the side and play the roles that we know they're capable of. They make us a stronger team. There's no doubt about that. And and Aaron the same. His form in the AFL over the last 18 months has been really strong. So, there's some positive changes. Carl is a big part of the future for us, and we think that the team's certainly stronger if it can be on paper, but we need to put it out there on the ground.
What can Jasper and Jack learn from only 2 weeks in the SANFL?
I think it's not so much about what they learnt. They just needed to take away some of the pressure of the way they'd performed. And for Jack, it was just go back and play on an opponent and just beat them. And he did that really well. And Jasper the same. The 2 times he's played in the SANFL, it clearly shows that he's better than that level, and we expect that from a bloke who's played as much football as him. So it's more a circuit breaker, I reckon, for those players. They know they can play. They just got to go away and just have a moment or two to think about how important it is to play.
Was the bye for the Port Adelaide Magpies a forced hand for you on Pittard, or?
Yeah, well, it made it more challenging. There's no doubt about that. It makes it more challenging when you've got 4 byes through the season. The season starts a bit later, so it does make it a bit challenging when you're operating in that space. We're pretty happy with the way the whole competition works because we get to play our players all together, so that's really important. But yeah, the bye this weekend for the Magpies was a little bit disruptive for us.
So if there'd been the bye, without the bye, would have he still stayed in the SANFL, or were you happy enough to bring him up after just 1?
No, his form was good enough to come in, and I think that's the key part for us to remember. We need them, both Jack and Jasper, particularly in our side, in good form if we're going to be a good team by the end of the year.
Do you look to some of those midfielders who let you down last week and say you're using up credit points this week?
Yeah, no, they've been a great midfield for us for large part of the season. We do like to back them in, and Wally Wines, Brad Ebert, Sam Powell-Pepper's a young player, Robbie Gray. There's plenty of good players in our team that deserve to be given some, a little bit of slack in one performance that they're not proud of.
Robbie, speaking of, I'm sure you'd like 2 of him with no Chad Wingard, but forward, midfield, forward, how do you balance it?
Yeah, we'll do what we've done. We'll basically see how the game's unfolding and see what we need and when we need him. And for Robbie, if that's in the forward line, we're happy to leave him in the forward line. We've got Aaron coming into the side to play a similar role that can, basically in last season he played as that deeper forward as well. So we think we've got some flexibility there, but the game will determine where we use every one of our players, not just Robbie.
Given Aaron goes back to the SANFL, plays in the midfield, that's where he seems to play his best football. Do you consider sort of letting him have that Chad Wingard 50-50 type role?
Yeah, that's the deal. We're trying to bring him in to allow him to play in the position that we think he's best suited, and that is to play a little bit more midfield than he has in the past. And Robbie's probably filled the deeper forward line position on him. So we think we've given Aaron the best opportunity to play the level that he plays at SANFL.
That assessment you made at the end of the game that players didn't play their roles, what answer have the players given you as to why they couldn't fulfil their roles rather than?
Yeah, it's interesting. What the performance said to us is that in the second half, if we just do the things that we do well, we're in every game. And and even in that game last week, we were close at the end of the game where we probably didn't deserve to be as close as we were. So for our players to understand, and like every side, look, when the pressure comes on, you've got to be able to just stick to what is working for you over the course of the season. And for us, if we do that, we're a pretty strong side.
So it's still one of the last pieces you need, that they need to understand that they've got to do it week in, week out, play that role level.
Yeah, I think they understand it, but the challenge is to produce it, and that's what the good teams, the consistently good teams do it for large parts of the season, and they do it consistently in chunks of the season, not for 1 or 2 weeks. It's the challenge for us is to get it for longer than that period of time.
Getting that 3rd win in a row hasn't happened in a couple of seasons now. Is that as much mental as anything, do you think?
Yeah, it becomes like the top 8 question now, doesn't it? They're all the questions that we have to answer, and rightly so, we have to answer, and we can't do anything about it other than put ourselves in that position again as soon as we possibly can to get us as opportunity to break through that barrier. Every little thing you do in AFL, there's always a barrier in your way, and you've got to try and get through it.
What about the Saints tomorrow? Obviously, they started off pretty well in the season, lost their last couple without Riewoldt and Montana. They look a little bit vulnerable at this stage, but I'm sure you're not going to be taking them lightly tomorrow.
No, you just can't. I mean, we understand their ability. They've been a really damaging side. We've seen them only 3 weeks ago destroy Richmond. you know, and Richmond come over here and beat us, so we know what we're in for. We know Richo pretty well. There'll be a fierce St Kilda side turn up here tomorrow. Don't worry about that.
On the bigger picture, Ken, has the result last week emphasised that you probably still do need another ruckman or another forward?
No, not really. No, I think we've been able to show throughout the season that we've been able to get things done with the side that we've had out there more often than not. And I think for us, it's always going to be about, you know, the whole team, not just one or two individuals. You know, we can't possibly be that side. And, you know, what you haven't got tomorrow doesn't matter, because you've just got to play to win tomorrow.
With that, besides anything else, tomorrow becomes a pressure game because you can eliminate another contender with things being so tight?
Yeah, I suppose from us, we more want to control what we have in front of us, and you know, whatever happens to the sides that we play against is up to them. For us, it's about controlling where we want to go. We're trying to, you know, we start out the start of this year to try and be a part of the finals, and that's what we're still trying to do. We're trying to achieve that opportunity. Right now, we're still short of the mark.
So it's saying the premiership table's actually beginning to tell the true story of where you fit? You're maybe not a top four side, but you're wagering for somewhere between 6, 7 and 8?
Yeah, I think we're in that mix. We're in that mix of where we sit on the ladder after 18 rounds. That's exactly where we fit. You know, we could be with a little luck, a little higher, a little bit of go the other way, can be a little lower too. So the competition's so close. We do say it week in, week out.
Given we're so late in the season, Aaron Young, Karl Amon both unsigned for next year. 5 rounds to go. Are they playing for their futures here at the club?
No. I think they'll be fine. And you know, our list management stuff's all done by Jason Cripps, and that'll be stuff that we work through. I think we show by selecting that we understand and they understand they're part of our future.
Thanks, Ken.